Hi, and welcome to another JunoViewer webinar. In this webinar, we'll look at the various user permissions available in JunoViewer and the general functionalities available to each. We'll also cover DMS security, that is, the special permissions available around your modeling setup files. There are four main permission levels available in JunoViewer: regular user, data manager, network administrator, and administrator. The permissions affect you in two ways. The first is when an element within a page is hidden from a specific permission level. For example, all users can access the data parameter page. However, the ability to add or edit data parameters is only available to administrators. Hiding elements of a page is built into the code of the page, and therefore it'll be applicable for users across all JunoViewer accounts. The second way the permissions affect you is when an entire page is hidden from a specific permission level. For example, the add data page is not available to regular users. Pages which are hidden vary from account to account and can be updated at the request of the account manager. For example, your account may want to give data managers the ability to approve changes made in the field inspection tool. So Lonrix would enable the approval page to data managers. Alternatively, another account may only allow network administrators or administrators to have access to this page. Let's look at the four permission types in a bit more detail. Regular user. Regular users essentially have view-only permissions throughout JunoViewer and only for the networks within their account for which they have been given access. This covers all the analysis views, data export functionalities, and custom views developed specifically for your account. An exception to the view-only rule is in the field inspection tool, where you can edit a ForwardWorks program and make field comments. Any changes to the ForwardWorks program will be saved into a holding table after synchronization, awaiting approval by a user with appropriate permissions. I've set up a login for each of the four permissions, and so we'll have a quick look at what a regular user might see in our training account. So if I go to my analysis menu, I've got access to all of the same pages. If I come into the virtual fit, I can still load this. I can still see a ForwardWorks program. If I click that, I can look at more details. But if I try to make any changes in here, they're not going to save. If I was to go to the FWP segment sets page where we import ForwardWorks programs, all I can see are the list of ForwardWorks programs. I don't have any of the import functionality. All right, let's have a look at data managers. Data managers can access most pages in JunoViewer, again, only for the networks within their account for which they have been given access. In addition to regular users, data managers can update, import, and delete data and ForwardWorks programs, and make use of much of the ForwardWorks program and deterioration modeling features. An account may have a few data managers per network. Let's have a quick look at data manager access now. If I come to my ForwardWorks program menu and my import page, you can see I've now got all the functionality to import ForwardWorks programs. Also, I've got access to the add data page, and I can also add sections and other things like that. All of the analysis view will be the same, with the addition that I can make changes to my ForwardWorks programs now. All right, let's have a look at network administrators. The network administrator permission level is our most recently added permission and falls between data manager and administrator. Network administrators have all the permissions of data managers, with the added functionality to import, export, and manage deterioration model setup files, or DMS files. Like regular users and data managers, network administrators can only view networks within their account for which they have been given access. Like data managers, there will generally be only a few network administrators per account. So everything's going to be the same as it was for data managers, except now, if I come to my forecast models page, whereas this section wouldn't have been available for data managers or regular users, obviously, I can now upload DMS files. Finally, administrators. Administrator access is the highest permission level available, and administrators have access to all pages of functionality available under their JunoViewer account. As well as previously mentioned functionality, administrators can access all networks in their account, add and edit data parameters, and manage users within their account. Generally, an account will have just one or two administrators. So now I can edit data parameters. The add new parameter and update parameter wouldn't have been available for any of the other permissions. I've got access to the manage users page where I can view all users and edit information for those. Now, it is possible for one user to have different permission levels on different networks within their account. For example, on network 1, you may be a regular user. On a second network for which you're responsible to manage, you may be a network administrator. And on a third network, you may again be a regular user. In this case, you would see all pages which the network administrator can access. However, when you select a network on which you have only regular user access, certain elements of that page may be hidden. Now, this scenario only applies to non-administrator users because by default, administrators have full access to all networks. The last thing I want to discuss with you is DMS security. That is permissions around managing your DMS file to ensure the often confidential information within the file is only accessible to specific users. DMS files can only be uploaded by administrators or network administrators within your account, and permissions can only be given to these same users. There are two types of DMS permissions available. Owners have full control of the DMS file. This means they can manage the file, delete or replace the file, and download the file. Users with download-only permission can only download the DMS file, not surprisingly. They can also upload new DMS files, however, with a different name because only owners can replace files. I'll show you that functionality now. If I come to my forecast models page, scroll down. If I select one of these, you can see I've got a manage DMS file function here. If I select an existing DMS file and click the button, then I'll have the manage DMS permissions pop up. I'll show you that via uploading a new DMS file. Put a DMS file here. If I click to upload, it's going to automatically ask me if I want the permissions to remain private, which means only I will have access to that file, or if I want to set permissions. If I choose to set permissions, it's going to give me a list of all administrator and network administrator users for my account. Now, if I had multiple networks, I could select a specific network, which would filter this list for me. I've only got one network in the training account, and I'm logged in as a user called administrator. And so you can see currently, only I have owner access, and if I click owner access, it'll automatically give download access because you can't have owner without having download. Now I can scroll down here and I can see all the users in my account. And If I wanted trainee 11 to have access just to download, then I'd select that. And maybe trainee 5, I want to be a co-owner. You can also search for names in the list there. I update permissions now. So if either of those two users were to select this DMS file, it would, depending on which one, it would either give them permission to manage it or it would let them download it. I'll show you just quickly. Whoops. Let me log in as a network administrator because data managers don't have access to DMS files. Now, if I come to my forecast models page, I can't even see the DMS file because I don't have any access to it. And bear with me a second. I'll log in as my administrator again. And what I should have done is given my network administrator download access. So now if I update permissions, log in as my network administrator, I can see it in the list. I can download it. If I ask to delete it, it's going to do that. And then it's going to say, you do not have permission to delete the selected DMS file. Please discuss permissions with, and it'll list all the owners of that DMS file. So many thanks for listening. I hope this has given you a good understanding of user permissions in JunoViewer. If you have any questions on this or anything else in JunoViewer, feel free to email us at support@lonrix.com.